What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Superhero Central. We recently went over the top 5 strongest Hulks that ever existed, and who we are going over today actually comes from one of those storylines of Worldbreaker Hulk or Planet Hulk. I'll leave a link to that video down below, but for now, the superhero we are going to be going over today is Skaar, the son of the Hulk. Now, we'll make a long story short and recap his birth, and then talk about who exactly he is, and what adventures he's been on. Now, during the World War Hulk and Planet Hulk storyline, the Illuminati, which is a team originally consisting of Black Bolt, Iron Man, Professor Xavier, Mr. Fantastic, Namor, and Doctor Strange, the leaders of all the different teams in the Marvel Universe. This was a secret group that would oversee all of the races of Earth and look out for any potential threats to their galaxy. They deemed the Hulk as a threat and lied to him to get him shipped off of Earth. This leads him to Sakaar, where he married Kyra, the Old Strong. She ended up dying when the same ship that the Hulk arrived on the planet with exploded. Now, she was pregnant with her and the Hulk's baby, and originally, the baby was thought to be lost in the explosion with the mother, but actually, the baby ended up being born in a protected shell from Kyra out of lava. Ever since Skaar was born, and even before then, Kyra has said that she would always protect him, and she would actually go on to do this with the Old Power. Now, the Old Power is basically a godlike power that can manipulate anything within the planet's elements that the user is inhabiting and can gain a crazy amount of magical energy from whatever planet they are on, and even more. So it's kinda like the most OP earthbender you could ever see. Yeah, that's just a taste of what the Old Power can do, but we will get more into that in a minute. Skaar was born to be a fighter, since he was literally born out of fire, plus, he's the son of the Hulk. But when he was just a so-called baby, he didn't have a choice and had to fight since he was attacked and raised by monsters. Meanwhile, his mother, Kyra, is not physically with him, but still with him in spirit, guiding him by the Old Power. Eventually, Skaar would see helpless people fall in front of him by the hands and armies of Axeman Bone. Skaar confronted Axeman and was able to defeat him even though Axeman had a dragon on his side. Skaar, the son of the Hulk, smashes through the dragon, and he also smashes Axeman Bone. But he did not kill him for good. Now, Skaar would have an encounter with Princess Amaka, and at first they battled one with another, but then teamed up to fight the barbarians. The Shadow People and the Prophet dubbed Skaar as their savior and wanted him to gain the Old Power. However, there were some mixed feelings because they saw how much of a beast Skaar was and how he can go on an absolute rampage. But Skaar made them help him get the Old Power after fighting an enhanced priest that had it, and Skaar defeated the being with the help of his mother. Unfortunately, this really enticed Skaar to get the Old Power because he saw firsthand what it could do. So, he would later obtain this power with the help of the renowned Wildbot's Red King. Also, while he was journeying to the Old Power, he literally walked through lava, so that's some tough skin for sure, but considering he was born in it, it only makes sense that he would be able to survive that heat. Now, the Axemen had followed them to the fortress of Okini, but man, he really shouldn't have, because once there, Skaar was able to get the Old Power with the aid from the Wildbots, and the Axemen had gotten on Skaar's last nerve. But before Skaar goes after the Axemen and his armies, he absolutely destroys one of the scientists who he believed was working on the ship that killed his mother. He's able to melt the scientist with the earth because of the Old Power. He tells the Red King that he can feel the planet like his own skin and everything that touches the ground. With that being said, he turns towards the army outside the city and earthbends them into ash. Then he singles out Axeman Bone, but Axeman knows somewhat how the Old Power works, so he jumps in the air on a ship so Skaar can't use the Old Power on him because he was not touching the ground anymore. However, Skaar, wanting his blood, stated that he could sense his daughter across the planet and was ready to kill her. But the Silver Surfer had interrupted him and they began to fight. While fighting the Silver Surfer, the Surfer warns them that Galactus is coming to feed on their planet, and he was attracted to it by the Old Power that Skaar was using, and that this power was enough to satisfy Galactus for 100,000 years. Now, Skaar doesn't really care about the warning at this point, and he just wants to defeat the Silver Surfer. But the Silver Surfer, with the energy he has left, takes the Old Power from Skaar and says that their planet is doomed because of him. So instead of Skaar being their savior, he was their destruction. Before the Silver Surfer leaves, he is caught off guard by Skaar and implanted with an obedience disc, making him the Silver Savage. The two and their army reach Axeman at his home base and are ready to defeat him, but Axeman releases dragons to rampage on the city and kills the slaves, but he then realizes his daughter is in their midst. He goes to retrieve her. Then the Green Skaar appears and tells Skaar that he's caused such a mess. He also makes the Red King and Axemen make their princess their ruler. Then the Green Skaar, who is the Hulk, the father of Skaar, has a fight with his son Skaar. And it's a pretty intense fight, to say the least. It should be noted that Skaar sees himself as a killer of killers, a bully to only fellow bullies. His one goal is to wipe out all of the people who had murdered his family and his people, or even who those killers were affiliated with. He wanted all of them to pay with their blood. Even having the mind of Thanos stating to kill half of the world, but only the bad ones, of course. And this goal of revenge is what made him a monster instead of a hero. He just couldn't see that. But eventually, he would come to his senses when his mother came back to life, who was actually appearing as his father the whole time. But she ended up sacrificing herself to feed Galactus's hunger. Before then, she banishes Skaar from their home planet for him being too vengeful, and this leads him to Earth, where he's able to transform into a human boy of himself, but is able to change back into Skaar after a little bit. Then, Warbound approaches him to try and help, but he doesn't care about their help. But he does care about knowing how to kill his father, who he just found out was still alive. The Green Skaar apparently goes to fight Skaar, but to Skaar's disappointment, the Green Skaar is an unintelligent form of himself that doesn't seem to remember anything. However, their fight that they had demolished a factory plant that was going to kill a lot of people, but Skaar used the aid from the old power to stop it. Then Skaar left the Green Skaar since he was not the version that Skaar wanted to kill, and he walks away claiming that the Earth is his world now. So Skaar has a lot of beef with killers, but is also one himself, and his pride is huge when it comes to fighting, much like his father. He has two crazy powerful parents that pass down insanely strong abilities to him. And with Skaar being born on Sakaar, without his parents physically there to help him when he was young, it shaped him to be the monster that his world feared. He would later make up with his father, and actually have more redeeming qualities than to kill killers. Plus performing amazing feats like sending the Juggernaut to space with a single punch. Skaar wouldn't turn out to be the devil that everyone thought he was going to be for the rest of his life. But he'll always have his extreme personality, and that's why we love him so much. Now it looks like we might be seeing Skaar in a future Hulk project. We know that the Hulk is going back to Sakaar and he's going to get his own story, so we just might run into his son Skaar in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But while we wait, in the meantime, let me know what you think about Skaar in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe for more awesome content, and as always, thank you for stopping by Superhero Central.